Good morning and welcome to the midweek edition of your breakfast on leadership celebration inside Nigeria. Today is January 8th, 2025, and my name is Webo, your host on the program. On this first segment of the show, we'll review four headline stories of some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. Let's see what leadership is leading with this Wednesday. It says governors shake up cabinet to Assert control, where the big stake Assert non-lawyer appointees. Mohammed sacks five commissioners, rather redesignates portfolios in Bojik Katsina. Sule explains cabinet sack in Nasarawa. Other stories gracing the cover of leadership are 122 dead in Tibet earthquake. NFF appoints Malian Eric Chell as Super Eagles head coach. Reduce 2025 Hajj fare, Governor Yusuf begs federal government. 573,469 seats, 3,937 customs jobs lost. The story runs on page 27 of leadership. And gradually towards the masthead of leadership, we have 43 Senate members alleged manipulation in Union Abuja VC appointment. And on the business board, we have military veterans occupy finance ministry over unpaid benefits. That takes us to the stories above the masthead of leadership. Federal government issues advisory on HMPV infection prevention. And article says Tinubu stop suffocating opposition voices. That takes us to the page 3 of the newspaper where we have our stand. Today's stand is on harnessing Nigeria's population for economic development. Nigeria, the most populous nation in Africa and it says globally, stands at a demographic crossroads. With our population estimated at over 222 million, 70% under 30, and a median age of just 18.1 years, Nigeria is uniquely positioned to leverage its human capital for economic growth. However, as history has shown, a large population can either be a catalyst for prosperity or a burden on limited resources. Those are snipers from today's stand on leadership, harnessing Nigeria's population for economic development. From our stand, we go over to the back page of the paper where we have Wednesday column with Olufunke Barua. Today's column is on Thank You, Next, from Rhetoric to Action. In quotes, as the last hope of the common man and one of the enduring bastions of a true democracy, the rule of law must be upheld by all means necessary, otherwise the alternative is chaos and infamy. Coming from the Wednesday column with Olufunke Barua. Today's column is on Thank You, Next, from Rhetoric to Action. This is where we conclude review of leadership newspaper this midweek edition. For more, log on to the website of leadership newspaper. From leadership, we move over to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard's main headline story today, Wednesday, says how lack of power, water, Jakba degrades health sector. Exodus shortage of healthcare workers persists. Healthcare system faces challenges in service delivery due to accountability issues. Lack of funds for healthcare remains big problem. Federal government's ability to equip hospitals, buy essential medicine and supplies, run effective public health programs remain limited. And of course, we had a picture of former President Olusegun Obasanjo in meeting with during the meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the inauguration of Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama at Black Star Square in Accra, Ghana yesterday. The picture gracing the cover of Vanguard newspaper. We also have it similarly on the previous paper before it, that is leadership. Obi Atiku Labour Party blasts APC. I didn't threaten your life. Stop telling lies. APC spokesman says Obi. Livestock development headers can't afford ranches near to Allah. Tinubu at Mahama's inauguration will lift our people out of poverty. Nigeria at moderate risk of human metapneumovirus. NCDC. How corruption allegations led to suspension of local government chairman Okpebolo, the Edo State governor. Government adopts 46 in Zamfara community, and that takes us to the stories about the market of Vanguard. Over 7 million registered electricity customers yet to be metered. Next. No state has excuse not to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage. NECA. Shocker, NFF announces tax million coach for Super Eagles. Tinubu approves allowances, bulletproof SUVs for retired generals. With that, we conclude review of front headline stories on Vanguard. For more, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper. That takes us to the Punch newspaper this Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. And the main headline says, tax reform, Northern elders, governor maintain opposition as senators lobby. Group says Group say federal government lacks data to support proposed VAT changes. Imo governor once again playing politics with bills. Tinubu calls for Africa's unity. Obasanjo Zuma attend Mahama's inauguration. We have same pictures today on the Punch, similar pictures gracing the cover of most papers on our lineup today. PDP differs as Okpebolo accuses local government chairs of 12 billion naira diversion. Police recover 784,000 naira from rogue officers in Bauchi. Romance scam, 2 US-based Nigerians face 40-year jail term. And that takes us to the story beside the masthead of the Punch. Forest food crisis likely as northern farmers opt for export. Banditry influence, task force meets as Amotekun, police tighten southwest boundary. El-Rufai Atiku allies meet SDP leaders behind closed doors. Swear to life, Atiku, Labour Party carpet Tinubu, APC lapons Obi. That concludes review of front headline stories on the Punch. For more, log on to the website of Punch. The next paper on our lineup is THISDAY. THISDAY says Tinubu leaves Obasanjo, Jonathan orders to Mahama's inauguration. President expresses readiness to work with Ghanaian leaders. West African country gets first female vice president. Congratulations to the Guinean folks. Above that, in 2024, police dismantled 5,049 malicious domains cybercrime syndicate in Nigeria. It's a story that continues on page 9 of THISDAY. And above the masthead of THISDAY, Adiola, tax reforms bill presentation altered January to December budget cycle tradition. Global survey reveals trust issues in tax systems. Stepler to revive 400 idle oil wells set to hit over 120,000 barrels per day after buying mobile assets. That concludes review of front headline stories on THISDAY. For more, log on to the website of THISDAY newspaper. The Guardian paper is next on our lineup and incidentally the last paper for review today. Investors eyeing listing and 10 players control 54% of Nigerian NGS 53 trillion naira. We have top 10 equities valuation. We have Dangote Cement at 8.02 trillion naira, Boa Foods 7.47 trillion, MTN 4.2 trillion, Boa Cement 3.15 trillion, Gerebu 2.8 trillion, Transcorp 2.7, Arade 2.6, Zenith 1.71, GTCO, that is Guaranteed Trust Holdings 1.65, FBN Holdings 1.13 trillion naira. These are the illustrations behind that related story. Investors are listing as 10 players control 54% of NGS, Nigerian Stock Exchange 53 trillion naira. FCC's move to collect council revenue says protest. NDLE arrests 18,500, seizes 2.6 million kg of drugs in 2024. Despite privatization, federal government to spend 761.7 billion naira on wires, transformers, street lights, orders. Ibadan Stampede court to rule on bail request of Onisi ex-wife, orders January 13. Tinubu OBH Ghana's democratic progress, pledge support, urge renewed African unity. Land Use Act, endless wait for property justice, equity 47 years on. Is a news analysis that runs on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. That's where we conclude today's review of front headline stories on the Guardian. For more, log on to the website www.theguardian.nk. And with that, we also bring to a close the first half of this segment. Don't go away, we have the second part of the program coming in shortly with our guest in the studio. Stay tuned.
part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
Just joining in, the program is Inside Nigeria, breakfast show on leadership celebration. My name is Vinny Pedigo once again, and of course you can see I have in the studio with me a media practitioner, as just a public affairs analyst, Senator Iwebu. Pleasure to have you in the program.
Good morning. It's been a while. How many years now?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So much has been happening in the politics, and we'll go with leadership newspaper first. Leadership main headline story says governors shake up cabinet to assert control. And of course, we've been seeing lately some cabinet reshuffle in some states. What is happening? And it's not even towards 2026 yet.
In Nigeria, after the first year, everybody will have, it's like a honeymoon year after the election year. So definitely the new government from the center to the states will be allowed time to settle, form their cabinet, and then the second year, which we are entering, is always a year of assessment. By then, the honeymoon has ended. Then you start laying the groundwork for the next 3 years, which is another election year. So politically, you start strategizing. Then politics have started kicking in, because that first year just to allow. By that first year, people have already assessed who is for me, who is against me, who has the strength I need, who do I think to bring in or move out. So depending on your calculation, either for policy changes, either for political reasons, either for developmental gains. So there are many reasons cabinet reshuffle is always key in the second year running, which is what they are now. Because by May, in the next 3 or 4 months, the second year is gone. We're entering third year.
Third year for politics.
Yeah, it's for politics.
Okay, now talking about cabinet reshuffle, we saw that play out in the federal last year. But many Nigerians were not actually satisfied with the changes that took place. What do you agree about that? Because there were many people feel that us who have been given the act that they are still in the government.
The last year reshuffle from the federal government.
Are we still going to see more of that?
It's the prerogative of the president. So the most important thing is those that survive the reshuffle. Are they working? Are they doing first? Are they doing what or interpreting well or carrying out the policies of the administration or the vision of the president? The hope agenda. Then secondly, are their actions, leading to the well-being, improve the well-being of Nigerians? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, still Nigerian that is going to assess whether they perform. So sometimes even the last, like you noted, there are people that were changed that some people felt these people are performing, why did you change them? And there are people that were still remaining in the cabinet that some people felt these people should have been,
And come to think of it, in assessment, you discover that mostly is people that had controversies trailing them, talking about the former women affairs minister, talking about the education. The education minister then, the former education, came under the storm when he advocated that the age for admission to university. That quite also generated controversy. So those were the people that were actually, those that had controversy. Those are the people that the president removed from the cabinet, not actually give them performance.
That's a point. But on another one that was removed, which many people don't know reason why, because some people felt she was that minister of youth, the young lady, someone or something like that. So the lady was doing well, that young lady, and people don't know the reason why she was removed and replaced with the minister of state. Okay. So and like you say, those it wasn't really based on performance, mostly for some calculation, just like we are talking about governors now. So people are beginning to, there have to be some calculation within those. Like I noted, some it can be for political reasons, for strategic reasons, sometimes, and for policy issues. Maybe you don't want to rock the boat. For like Minister of Women Affairs, for me, my own opinion, she was, I can rate her as one of those who actually doing what they
Yeah, she was zealous.
zealous, yes, showing passion, even though sometimes her approach may be a bit controversial, but I see her raising some germane issues that are being neglected, that are actually at the domain of that ministry. The other past ministers tend to avoid. That maybe the president felt politically may backfire on him because some of those issues are actually controversial issues. But real germane issues we should be discussing. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes political consideration. But how long can we take political consideration at the expense of our own, of the well-being of the citizens and development? So you have to find a way to marry political needs and developmental needs, or the needs of the people. So this is where those cabinets changes, people should be able to scrutinize and question them, and whether this is actually something that is for our overall benefit or just for political purposes.
All right, thank you so much. Moving ahead, we move over to the Punch newspaper. We still have developing issue on this task from this because we've not seen the end of it yet. Northern Elders Governor maintain opposition as senators lobby. And yesterday in the media, we also have reports that the head of the committee, presidential committee on tax reform, or Taiwo Oyedele, said that he actually made attempts to meet with the Northern Governors Forum, and on those occasions, more than 4 occasions, he was cancelled out, and nobody was willing to meet with him except Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State and one other governor. What is happening here? And it's like, there's not going to be an impact.
I think the new tax reform bill has really generated a lot of controversy. Just like most of other government policies, even in some previous administration, I've always had problem the way government um, introduces their policy to the public, especially policies that are consequential, like the issue of subsidy removal, like this tax reform. So when government want to do this kind of consequential policies, they need to start they need to start with serious sensitization, serious education, serious orientation, serious community engagement. So, but what they do is they just bring the policy, and then when people start reacting, they go back and they start engagement. Even though the tax has not been passed, thank God enough, this one requires some legislative approval, and unlike the subsidy removal that the president announced by fiat, then when the consequences start working back on the consequences, but these are something supposed to put modalities in place first, put structures in place, kind of simulate what may be likely fallout, and how you can put mitigation measures. These are some of how these policies. But what happened was he announced it before he started realizing that there are consequences. What start scampering on how to mitigate it and what to do. Before you know it, over almost 2 years is gone, and we're still reeling from the consequences of that announcement. So the same thing to this tax reform. Many people are even those opposing it are even yet to understand. That's the point.
You just took the words out of my mouth, because
that's the background I'm making. Where government is missing it, because
many people are yet to even
most time people oppose what they don't understand. Even if it's for their own benefit, but for the
because there are so many benefits. Like for instance, they say they are reducing government own share allocation.
I bet you, not up to 10% of Nigerians actually know what this, or have read or understood what this tax reform is all about, except the politics of it. And like I told you, 2027 is around the corner. Say everything, even policies are introduced will be politicized. So if government give ammunition to politicians to play politics with his policies, then it's time to be blamed. And that's why I'm saying enough sensitization is needed. Even right now, it's not being carried out. So the only thing that is being done is the debate around it, but nobody is even telling us what the tax is all about. How does it benefit me as a citizen? How does it benefit me that is living in Abuja? How does it benefit the person in Kano? How does it benefit the person in Imo State? How does it benefit the person in Lagos? So you need to aggregate this in a simplified language that people understand, the language of the people, not the language of politicians or the language of the elite or the language of technocrats. Sometimes the language is still at the technical level that people can't understand.
However,
break it down, do sensitization, reach out to the people,
or whatever. But what many people are finding out, especially the northern groups, region, is that of consumer derivation. That is where the bone of contention.
I know the issue of this alcohol, the VAT thing, yes.
The consumption will fight, because the bills are up to about 3 or 4.
Yes.
But they don't frown at that one. But it's that one that is actually generating the eye of the north, and that
you
they
get
don't
tax
want that.
based on what.
But however, this committee has come up with explanation that no, not before. What it means that this derivation can actually spread to other parts of the country. It doesn't. It's not consumption based on consumption.
We are still saying the same thing. Explanation is only coming after the fact. You understand? Not before the fact. So a lot of underground works should have been done before because once you are introducing a policy, you know a policy, like I said, policies that are consequential, policies that touch at the nerve of Nigeria. There are policies that are economically consequential, there are policies that are politically consequential, there are policies that are strategically consequential, there are policies that are culturally sensitive and consequential. So once you are introducing those policies, you have to go with massive orientation, massive sensitization. Even while you're doing that, there are people who want to muddy the voices, because for the fact they don't even want it to succeed, they make sure the target audience didn't get the message. So you have to prepare, you have to anticipate. Most times our government introduces some of the policies with toga of fiat, of totalitarianism, like an emperor kind of, take it or leave it kind of thing. This is my policy, you have to take it. If people cry too much, they send some spin doctors across who will come and be explaining piecemeal. No, there should be deliberate effort, there should be systemic sensitization or strategic communication program that accompanies most of policy. That's how policy sells, that's how policy succeeds. Because policies or laws are meant for the people. If people you are making these laws don't even understand that it's for their own benefit, then you failed, you defeated the purpose.
Thank you so much. We are still looking at financial autonomy, talking about Supreme Court judgment giving the financial autonomy to local government. And since that declaration, it seems not to have gone well with the state government. For instance, in Edo State, the new governor, Webule, is still having a fight with the local government chairman, just as FCC's move to collect council revenue debt protest. We also saw in Anambra State, where the governor passed a bill that some percentage of this local government funds should be remitted to the state coffers. What is actually happening here?
So what is happening?
And we keep touting fiscal federalism. Seems like Nigerians are not ready for it.
No, Nigerians are ready for it. It still comes down to what I'm saying. So, and some of us predicted what is happening. Yes, most Nigerians, it's just like first subsidy removal. Most Nigerians, after that Jonathan experience, most Nigerians start to understand what first subsidy actually are, began to accept the fact that there will be subsidy removal. But there is the manner it was being implemented and launched, the shock was too much.
We are still reeling from
We are still reeling from the shock, So it's just like when somebody the tooth is paining or something, and you didn't put the person anesthesia to deaden it just goes straight and then the pain becomes too much. So you'll be dealing with the consequences of that. Sometimes people can even die from the shock if it's not properly handled. So you begin to say you want to view the initial problem and create a more multiple problem. Now that comes to the issue of the local government autonomy, because I was one of those who proponents for REIT, and I still believe in it. But I felt the way government went about it, and there was some comeback. Even as it has happened, is good, but the follow up is what I'm saying. The body language of our government. First, we practice federalism. We're already talking that there's too much concentration of power at the center. Then at the state level, they already appropriated the powers of the local government, and we wanted to unbundle that so that local government. Now, there have been some subtle campaigns to ensure that there was this autonomy. Federal government now took this case to court, and Supreme Court ruled. Now, I expect the federal government to do a follow-up, which they have not done. Because what that ruling did, since it was the federal government that took it to court, the states felt this is like an imposition from the center on them, which has further eroded the powers or the autonomy of the states. The states feel that the federal government is infringing on their own autonomy. Even as the
so you feel that if the federal government did not take that step, so is Attorney General, that the state government
I'm coming.
will come and say state government is okay.
I'm coming.
granting autonomy
That's what I'm saying. I'm
to
coming.
my local government.
I'm coming. I'm coming. So now the governors are resisting. It would have been better if there had been a kind of holistic approach towards it. Everyone is carried along. They understand the challenges which is pointed out, and which I'm sure that's why federal government took that route.
Yes.
Now, as federal government have achieved that through this, they shouldn't have stopped there. They should have approached National Assembly further, so that National Assembly can now take more constitutional route, more holistic route, to look at gaps, where to improve the existing laws, where to cover any gaps, so that it can make it like a whole Nigerian thing, a whole government thing. It's not as if the executive, the federal government impose it on the governor. By this time now, all the stakeholders in court to look at where, and they can make improve on the law, look at where they can cut off these gaps where the governors are using to still defeat the law. Because the ruling governors are actually defeating it. Because at the end, you find out that we are still back to square one. Because there are still loopholes, there are still gaps.
Defeating it right from even at the entrance. Because we saw what played out during the local government.
That's what I'm saying now. Because if this person is in party B, it means that all the local comes, which is still what was going on before. So the only change now, which even Buhari attempted, was paying directly to UPay, and there's a joint account between the state and the local government. I'm sure legally, and because that joint account has not been separated. So that's what I'm saying. There's still gaps which National Assembly should have a role. But as it stands, after that, no follow up.
I read the report. They said it was just a follow up to that. What is that?
Not just in that. This is the problem. They think it's the executive problem alone. HGF going to seek interpretation of it. In Supreme Court can interpret, but they should still go to National Assembly. Look at that law. Look at how to amend it further. The laws are not static. They are not static. We've had laws that are amended, like counter-terrorism laws have amended, came in 2013, but it has amended like twice already. So we keep on amending the law. So this law, what it means that there's need for amendment. Thank God that they've gone through the wrath of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gave ruling. But the ruling is still half careless, which symbolically is a symbolic victory. They have to take advantage of this victory, except if the federal government are not serious. But if they are serious, they can take this victory to the National Assembly. Thank God they have almost a very friendly, one of the most friendly National Assembly ever in history. We call them rubber stamp. They always say that anything from the executive, from the presidency, they will say, oh yes, oh yes. No, they are, I was using friendly. I said I'm being charitable. Friendly is different from you can be friend
But
with.
you know, it didn't
I
start
can be
now.
friend with you,
But you know, it didn't
but
start
when
now.
you do something, I'll tell you to your face. I say I can't take it. No, this is not friendship. I'm not encouraging you. If I That's not what National Assembly. But Robert Science, anything you say, we are in a relationship. But I always agree with anything you say, whether it hurts me or even hurt someone that is dear to me. I'll say because I want to please you. Then that's not being friendly. I'm being cowardly. That's what we some of us feel that National Assembly are doing. They need to take. So now, I expect the National Assembly to, even now, if they want to be even the friend of the executive, they can now show further. Look, President, you've done well, but we want to support you further. By taking these laws, they have all the consultants, all the legislative bills that can go, legal bills that can go dissect the laws, setting up local government administration, taking the state court ruling, even the Attorney General of the Federation can work hand in hand with not only the state court to get interpretation, but also National Assembly to make sure that if there is laws that governors are using as a tool, even the laws that was the Anambra State government. There can be laws can be made to nullify it. You understand? Under legislation can be made to nullify it. So these are some of the things I think that should be done to add more teeth. Because right now it is backing. It come back. There's no there is a good starting point. It's a foundational.
Asking on the spending we have a because that Tinubu approved allowances to level SUVs for retired generals. This even as in the military veterans occupied now to over to benefit. We had that situation just last year, about 2 months ago, and the situation here. Of course,
Okay, yes, some of this security, I see this as security. Yes, it's good, allowances good, but how from not after this one administration, maybe do it 1 or 2 years, they still try, you do it again, next administration comes. Have to put something in place that is sustainable so that long lasting, sustainable, not to please you, not something you just do to pacify, so that these people don't have to be protesting every time. That's one. Secondly, you have to be in such a way that is mutually beneficial. Set up a mechanism or institution that absorbs this general. There are lots of them who still have what to do mentally, institutionally. That something I see that in this part of the climb, not only in Nigeria, when you are talking about Africa or the globe, we don't we place less importance on brain power, think time. If you check US, I've done some research on think tanks across the world. You find out that most countries that have highest of think tanks are countries that are actually dominating it from US to China. You see a lot of them, Rand Foundation, this foundation, most of the retired general, retired intelligence officers. So they have a place to go, put their knowledge and get paid. Do a lot of research, do a lot of analysis, both in terms of development, in various fields. Because when it comes to one thing about security institutions, they are experts in various fields because you have doctors there, you have engineers there, you have so many added to the elements of intelligence and security. Most times they retire, they are redundant. They have nothing to do. They are just waiting for handouts. But these people we can create a lot of institutions where they can be engaged, adding to the body of knowledge to something. Most of these things we're crying about, they can help us simulating, thinking about the future. It's from there they can even simulate in 50 years time, 20 years time, how would Nigeria stay? What challenges can come to Nigeria? How do we overcome it? This and this. These are things I see that there's a vacuum here, and government needs to, apart from making sure their allowances are paid regular without them crying every time. These are some of the other measures I think that can be put in place.
all right, thank you so much. Lastly, again, President Bola Tinubu actually inaugurated and created a new ministry like that. Now, after months of its creation, this is dead in arrival because we have Miyeti Allah saying that federal stands upon
Okay. Like I said, it goes back.
another way. If you continue
No, that's what I'm saying. Most times we create a policy. Like there's this saying that Nigerians lack maintenance culture, and it comes to all our policies I'm talking about. We lack that power of follow up. We do something. That's why we always like new things. If something will come new, if you check even in our hotels, there'll be a hotel that'll be raining because it's new. People sit there. If you come there next 5 years, that hotel is a shadow of former. They'll put a new one that is flashy. The same thing with our encampment around with people with power. Become everybody immediately that everybody deserves that. That's the thing with policy. We create a beautiful policy. We don't follow up. Yes, this Minister of Livestock has been created. Have we checked and see what other follow up we need to do? We do kind of a SWOT analysis, do postmortem after 1 year of creating it. Have they gone back to it? The reason why we created this ministry is there something we need to. You don't create something now and it becomes perfect. If you check some of these automobiles, if you check their brand in 1980 and see what you have now, you'll be laughing. They keep on adding to it. If you check aeroplane when it was invented and what airplane now, it's a different. They keep on inventing, improving. So this livestock, maybe they go back. If the nature is trying, they don't have money for ranching. Is that a problem? You create a loan around that. Encourage them. Okay, we are giving loan, non-interest loan. We are giving those who are interested in ranching, come and obtain this loan. We even give technical support to make sure build, operate, and live. You'll be paying whatever you'll be collecting some percentage. You have to. You don't just create it, don't leave it like that. You have to take note of the complaint, take note of existing gap, we improve on it. So these are what I'm saying. Most times we leave it, we create policy, we abandon it, we look for new ones to create. Maybe people complain, for you to solve it, go and create a new thing again. Abandon the old one, that one is still there. So it's a problem. It's a cultural problem we have.
However, because many people are expecting divergent views, even like created apart from the response to one. People are also of the opinion that with land use act, how would this function? It's not like going to just go and seize land and say that they are complaining of it. So you have to have the right of government. And how many governments are trying to have
So there should always be a starting point. You look at low hanging fruit, you start from there. There's always a pilot version of anything. So just like I said, everything you have to come with. When government gives policy, start carrying people along. You don't be like an emperor. You don't run an emperor. You do it. These are challenges. Challenges will come. The world defines its ability to overcome those challenges. You come, think about it strategically. If the South are opposing the Southern government due to land issues, you can leave that place for now. Why not start from areas that you feel that are working, show it as an example, then continue negotiating with the other governors or the other states.
Besides, they can have their own people too, part of it.
That doesn't mean
that
that's what I'm saying. They are
trading is for a particular region.
We are saying the same thing. Yes. So we shouldn't just because of one reason or complaint of one, we just encounter one single challenge, we give up. Are you telling that life is just like express road? Even express road, also. So as a government, you have all the resources, you have all the support to meet challenges and command them. So why are you sitting there complaining? Engage the governors and start with those. Out of all the tactics, there must be one or two that are acceptable to you. You start working with them.
Wow, thank you so much. That is a takeaway from today's Inside Nigeria program. Had the pleasure of having a media participant. Thank you. So this is where we draw the curtain on today's Inside Nigeria, a midweek edition on the stable of leadership transition. My name is Winifred Weber. Don't forget to join us same time station for another first edition of the program. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. Leadership Awards and Conference 2024. Join us as we celebrate excellence across various fields, honoring those who've made remarkable impacts. Award categories include Person of the Year, Quinquennial Award for Governance and Infrastructure, Governors of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and many more. Stay updated by following us on social media and visiting our website, leadership.ng. For sponsorship and inquiries, contact us today. Leadership Award and Conference 2024, celebrating excellence, inspiring the future.